Hi guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time ever seeing me, hi, my name is G. I'm a British foreigner who currently lives in Seoul, South Korea, and I like to make content on the non-romanticized, realistic version of Korea. So if that sounds like something, why can I not speak today? If that sounds like your thing, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. Quick disclaimer before we get into this video. I am using the content in this video under the fair rights usage policy, in which I will be providing my own commentary on the content used in this video. This video is not meant to spread hate about any of the content creators that I feature in this video. This video is meant to educate on the harmful effects that social media trends can have on people. And today I'm going to be addressing the toxic side of Wonyoungism, how it is closely intertwined with SkinnyTok and all of that jargon. If that content sounds like it is going to be triggering for you, then please, by all means, do not watch this video. Please feel free to click out of this video if you think that it is going to be harmful for you or your mental health. With all that being said, let's get on with the video. I would like to start this video by talking about the heavy diet culture that exists within South Korea. It is especially true for idols, celebrities, and public figures. However, ordinary people in Korea also feel the pressure to diet and to look a certain way. Particularly women still feel this pressure to be thin, to fit in with the beauty standard here. I do think that looking up to public figures and idols within Korea helps to fuel this desire for people to be skinny, especially that of K-pop idols here, as a lot of female K-pop idols especially tend to be on the thin side. Whilst there has been a big improvement in recent years of healthier body types being portrayed in the media, it's still very much the case that most girl groups have a very slim, defined figure. And the woman who became the it girl recently in Korea was Jang Wonyoung from the girl group IVE. Hence the trending hashtag everywhere known as Wonyoungism. Now, at surface level, there is absolutely nothing wrong with drawing inspiration from idols or people who you look up to better your life in some way, to see them as role models who can spur you on to become a better version of yourself. On the surface level, that is great. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, the point at which this Wonyoungism trending hashtag became toxic was when people started twisting it to mean one thing only, and that one thing was weight loss. If you look under the hashtag that is Wonyoungism, you are guaranteed to find multiple posts that are essentially about looking a certain way, and that certain look is often very skinny and not necessarily in a healthy looking way. A lot of the time, the people who are using this hashtag and promoting this image, they're promoting an image of just being as thin as possible, which is where I start to have an issue with it, of course, because there is nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight if you need to lose weight. If you are an unhealthy weight, honestly, there's nothing wrong with losing weight if you want to lose weight, provided you are doing it in a healthy way and your mental health is not suffering because of it. Healthy weight loss does not include a decline in mental health. Healthy weight loss should actually improve your mental health. So under the hashtag Wonyoungism on TikTok, this video popped up. I noticed that this video phrases it in a way where you think it's going to be healthy advice too, which makes it that much more dangerous, I think, because the video itself says, if you want to look fit. However, the workouts that it then goes on to show, there's a Chloe Ting workout in there for abs. You know, I'm not going to say that ab workouts don't do anything whatsoever, because they do help to strengthen your core muscles. However, doing Chloe Ting workouts on YouTube over and over again is not going to get you a six-pack. The slim legs thing as well really annoys me. You cannot get slim legs from doing these types of workouts. All of the exercises that this post is recommending are pretty much useless, honestly, because all of these workouts that they're showing are to get slim legs or get slim arms. You cannot spot reduce fat. You can't just like do a 10-minute arm workout and your arms are just suddenly gonna lose fat. That's not how it works. You have to lower your overall body fat percentage to lose fat. And that fat loss, you can't target it. It's everywhere. Some people lose fat more so on different parts of their body. It's down to genetics on how much fat you hold in certain areas on your body. However, you can never spot reduce fat, no matter what. You can't just choose to lose fat from your arms and not from your butt. I wish that was how it worked. Trust me. But it's not. You have to lose fat from everywhere, and you can't pick and choose where that fat removes itself from. Then it gets even more wild because it recommends facial exercises that you can do to get a slim face, which, if it was the case that you could lose fat from your face from doing these exercises, then a lot of plastic surgeons would be out of business. You can't just do a few exercises and your face is going to be, you know, like, it's just not how it works. Especially someone like me who naturally stores a lot of fat in my cheeks and in my face in general. The only way that I could ever get rid of all this would be to do surgery, which I'm not going to do, so I'm stuck with a fat face. It is what it is. And then even wilder, we have collarbone workouts to make a more prominent collarbone. At what point do we look at these things and just say, we've gone too far, you know? Like, at what point do you start to evaluate yourself and be like, do I really care about the structure of my collarbone to the extent where I want to change it? And if you do, I'm sorry, but I think you might have a problem. That's the first post under Wonyoungism that I wanted to discuss, because when I saw that, I was like, this is going way too far. I think the main issue with this Wonyoungism thing is, as I mentioned, the focus seems to be on being very skinny and having like as little body fat as possible, which isn't really healthy. And a lot of women, especially in Korea, they're willing to sacrifice their health in order to achieve this very specific aesthetic goal. And I think that's why it is so dangerous. Again, we have this one, which is saying, do these workouts if you want a slimmer waist. And looking at the exercises, it's some floor Pilates, it looks like, mat Pilates. I mean, that move where she was raising her legs up like this, that's going to do very, very little for you. In fact, that's pretty much just exercising your hip flexors. Yeah, just raising your legs up and down like that, that's doing very, very little for your waist. I can promise you that. Oftentimes, women are really scared of weightlifting, especially here in Korea, because I think a lot of women, again, have that whole aesthetic goal of just being as skinny as possible. And obviously, adding any muscle mass has the opposite effect, right? Adding muscle mass makes you look bigger, makes you look bulkier. And a lot of women here do not want to look like that. They want to look skinny and petite. Basically, my aesthetic, where I'm trying to be a muscle mommy, that kind of aesthetic in Korea is not what most women are after at all. I'm like the polar opposite of what most women in Korea want to look like, which again is more that very petite and very skinny-esque vibe. The reason I bring this up is because, yes, having muscle mass makes you look bulkier. I say that because I don't really think that women with muscles look bulky. I personally like that appearance. I like that aesthetic. But more importantly than liking the aesthetic, it is just healthier. Having muscle mass, especially as a woman, is so important, especially as we get older. Women are much more likely to develop bone density issues as we age. And so it is so important for women to build muscle. The more muscle mass that women have, honestly, the better, especially the older we get. Women are just much more likely to become frail as we age. And I don't want to be frail. I don't know about anyone else, but I want to be a fit grandma. I do not want to be hobbling around. I know it's very, very cliche, but it's true that I think your main goal should always be to be healthy. And rather than chasing an aesthetic goal, health should always come first, no matter what. Mental health as well as physical health, both are equally as important. And you should never, ever, ever sacrifice your mental health in order to achieve an aesthetic goal. This next creator that I want to look at is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video in the first place, honestly, because she has popped up on my feed a few times as she is a content creator who is also living in Korea. And I guess because we both are content creators living in Korea, her content got recommended to me. Her content is mostly diet content. And honestly, her content in general pretty much just revolves around the fact that she is very, very skinny. So the first video that I want to talk about is this one. How to lose weight and stay skinny forever without losing your period. You should not need a hack on how to stay skinny forever without losing your period, because if you are at a weight where you no longer have your period, honey, that is not the weight for you. If you are no longer having your period, that is a huge sign. Your body is screaming for help and you are eating too little food to fuel your body. The caption of this post also reads, "I don't gatekeep," which, again, you should not be gatekeeping a secret method on how to keep your period at a certain weight, because, again, if you are losing your period at a certain weight, then that is the wrong body weight for you. My main problem with this is that it's packaged as tips for other girls on how to be skinny and not lose their period. No girls need tips on how to stay skinny forever and not lose their period. Girls need tips on how to stay healthy and how to fuel their body properly. And of course, showing the hashtags. The hashtag Wonyoungism is one of the hashtags used. Another post from the same creator. You finally lost 2 kilograms and got your dream body. And she puts her height as well as her weight in the post. And then the tips that she actually has in the video itself are: 1, heavy lifting, glute focused in brackets, only twice a week. That's not going to do really much of anything. She's probably just maintaining the muscle mass that she already has in her butt. You need to really be weightlifting for all of your muscles, not just your butt. But whatever, that's fine. Like, preferences in working out or whatever. OMAD or IF diet, which I believe is referring to the 1 meal a day diet or the intermittent fasting diet. I'm sure that the 1 meal a day diet or the intermittent fasting diet does work for some people. However, considering that she is already clearly at a very, very low body weight, I worry that the 1 meal a day diet is taking things a little bit too far for her at the stage that she's at right now. Also, at a height of 168 centimeters and 48 kilograms, she is already on the mild thinness side. She is already slightly underweight for her height. She should not be trying to lose any more weight at this point. Whoa. So actually, I realized that she said she dropped from 48 kilograms to 46 kilograms. And like I said, if she was 48 kilograms, that is slightly underweight. And if anything, she needed to gain weight. Well, she lost weight. She lost 2 more kilograms and went down to 46. So now she's even more underweight than she was previously. And again, my main issue with this is that she is giving tips on how to lose weight to other people. All of these posts fall under the hashtag Wonyoungism. And all of these posts obviously fall into the overarching topic, which is SkinnyTok, which I'm not going to go into in depth in this video. This video is mainly about the Wonyoungism and the obsession with wanting to be thin in Korea specifically, but this content creator that I mentioned today does also hashtag Liv Schmidt in her videos, as well as the hashtag Wonyoungism. If you don't know, Liv Schmidt is a SkinnyTok creator, one of the most well-known, I think, SkinnyTok creators, who has made some content that I actually agree with. I don't disagree with all things that Liv Schmidt has said. Some of her weight loss tips are actually legitimate. However, she has also said some very, very controversial things and has made some content that definitely veers into a restrictive ED type of content, which is a real shame because I came across a post of what Liv Schmidt looked like before all the weight loss and surgery she had, and she was hot. Her figure was insane before she lost all of the weight. I bring this up to say that healthy will always, always look better than skinny, a million times over. I can promise you there is no aesthetic in the world that is worth sacrificing your mental and your physical health for. I think as human beings, it's only natural to nitpick at ourselves and find things that we want to change about ourselves. And again, I see no issue with wanting to lose weight, provided that it's done in a healthy and sustainable way. There is nothing wrong with losing weight. The problem is when a certain aesthetic comes along, like the one that I discussed in this video, the whole Wonyoungism trend comes along, and it gets twisted into something that is essentially just another version of Liv Schmidt. It's essentially just yet another hashtag that is added to the SkinnyTok umbrella that I think is incredibly harmful and damaging to young girls. I think the real problem with Wonyoungism as a hashtag is that Wonyoung is quite a young idol, and as such, she has quite a number of young fans. And I worry that these young, impressionable fans think that in order to be like Wonyoung, they have to be really skinny and they have to fit that skinny, almost malnourished looking figure. I feel like the original purpose of aspiring to be like your idols should be taking parts of their lives that make your life better or make you want to improve upon your life. Being inspired by how hard they work can make you want to work harder and make you want to better yourself. And in that case, aspiring to be like your idols is obviously a positive thing. It can have a very positive impact on your life. But when you focus too hard on the aesthetic side, that is when it becomes incredibly dangerous. So I want to end the video by saying, please do not lose weight to fit into anybody else's aesthetic. At the end of the day, you are you and Wonyoung is Wonyoung. The goal should always be to try and improve on you, to always try and become a better version of yourself, not to try and become like somebody else. You're the greatest thing that you'll ever work on. So really, I just want you all to direct your energy into yourself, not putting your energy into trying to become someone that you're not. And that's all I wanted to say. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like the video if you like the video. Please leave a comment down below sharing your thoughts because I would love to know your opinions on the whole Wonyoungism and SkinnyTok trends. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!